The president of the United States, he took a shot at LeBron James on Twitter. I know he probably has a lot of other things he could be doing with his time.
A lot of stuff
and
to be worried
his
about.
energy, but he's kind of passionate about what's happening in and around the sports world. And as you can see up on the screen, LeBron James was just interviewed by the dumbest man on television, Don Lemon. He made LeBron look smart, which isn't easy to do. I like Mike. It's a lot to unpack. I mean, what do you get from that?
First of all, you're right. You know, beyond running a country and all that, you've got stuff happening in your life that's just a little bit more important than what the basketball player said, right? But for him to pick on LeBron at this week, right? This week, what happened for LeBron, what he did opening that school, the amount of goodwill, the amount of inspiration. You see how many athletes talking about, I want to do something, I got to do something. That's just the wrong week to poke that bear. And I can't imagine anyone being on that side of the argument that LeBron is not smart or LeBron is somehow not valid.
And this isn't political. Like, there's so many people that want to put this stick to sports stigma on those that do this for a living. But when 45, who I affectionately call our commander in tweets, sends messages constantly about what's happening in the sports world, now it becomes a conversation that we should address.
He entered our house.
He did. So there's a lot to unpack there. First for me is when you call Don Lemon the dumbest person on TV. He's highly intelligent. He's extremely credible. He's been doing it for a really long time, regardless of your political affiliation. When you double down by saying LeBron make him look smart, it's the classic in his head, black on black crime. I'm putting these two guys together. LeBron is even smarter than Don Lemon.
Right.
And then you take it a step further. I didn't want this to go over a lot of people's head. Why he said, I like Mike.
Right.
Okay, because Michael Jordan has had a history not only of being the greatest basketball player of all time, but not necessarily being one that wanted to be socially and politically conscious.
Right.
And as you remember, famously said, Republicans buy shoes too.
Yep.
So he was a guy that now all of a sudden becomes a rally cry for this rhetoric, but as you mentioned, it's totally unnecessary.
Yeah. You want to hear something crazy? This is like Ali versus Frazier, right? Because Ali was anti-establishment. Frazier, who had nothing to do with any of that side of the politics, became like the side of establishment, right? If you were for the Vietnam War and for all that stuff, they kind of conscripted him into that. And so that's what he tried to do, trying to recruit Michael Jordan without MJ's consent. But thinking about where this is going to go for LeBron, Jalen, I truly believe, what is today's August 5th, 6th, that LeBron James is going to be the 2019 NBA MVP, and this is the week that solidified it. Beyond, yes, he's going to go to the Lakers' new team. They're going to win a lot more games. He's going to play great. It's been a while since he won it. All of those things are true and valid and going to contribute. But the biggest thing is, I think people are going to look back at this week where LeBron became more than just a basketball player. And that's going to carry him to MVP award. I think he's probably going to be Sportsman of the Year for Sports Illustrated. Might be Time Man of the Year. I mean, there's a lot going on for LeBron James. And it's an unfortunate incident, but I think it's going to carry his legacy even further.
For so long, we use the term student athlete, okay? And one of those sometimes gets lost in the dynamic the better you become. And how many points you score a game becomes the headline. And a lot of times what you do as a student gets left behind. And for LeBron, he now has catapulted himself into an enormous figure to the point where you now become a threat because you're helping your community, that the president of the United States has negative rhetoric about you during a period of time. As you mentioned, all you're trying to do is give back to the community.
He's done more for education than the Secretary of Education.
How about that?